We have an emergency war room situation going on the flesh and blood market right now. For those who don't know, you could see it in this tweet right here. We got a very tiny teaser of the new flesh and blood set coming up. I guess it's called Part the Mist Veil. And, just judging by the art and things like that, we can make a few assumptions. And people definitely have made assumptions and bought a lot of cards as a result. A couple of cards have been getting bought out. A couple of cards have yet to be bought out. So let's just go ahead, jump into it. We can't waste any more time. First card I want to talk about is Mask of the Pouncing Lynx, the cold foil version of this card. If we look at it here, it is up to $25. There's one up here for $21, and then it quickly jumps to $26. And if we look at the sales data, tons of them have sold today. I don't know, like 20 or 30 of them have sold today. So yeah, definitely on the back of the news. Just judging off this little clip here, we could assume that the new set is going to take place in Mysteria. And Mysteria, of course, the home of Ira and Benji ninjas, right? So, of course, a lot of the ninja cards are going to get bought up here. Maybe one of the less obvious things, though, is Ira kind of has this, like, affinity towards the Crouching Tiger game plan. This was evident in the Round the Table play set, right? Her little structure deck, her little starter deck had a lot of Crouching Tiger cards, a lot of Crouching Tiger synergies. Some people are hip to it. Definitely a bunch of copies have sold here as well. Cheapest copy on the market hasn't moved too much. It was like $20 before. Now it's $28. So this stuff is moving very fast. If Ira does come out and if she does sport that Crouching Tiger game plan, you're definitely going to want one of these Marvel tokens. They are pretty sick. Moving on, Mauling Kui. Kind of a essential card to the Crouching Tiger game plan if she does go that direction, which I would imagine she does. It kind of makes sense, right? The other heroes in that little bundle, like Professor Teklovasan, the real Teklovasan kind of plays very similarly to him. So it would make sense that the new Ira would play very similarly to the Ira in that box set. Again, not many. This is one of the ones where it's like you're a little bit in the weeds, right? So only like 12 copies or something like that have sold since the announcement, all for $2. So seeing it at $2 is kind of a steal, honestly. It might seem like a little bit of a lot for a round the table card, but if we look at other cards like Civic Steps, we know how expensive these type of cards can get, or Boulder Drop, right? Even Boulder Drop is a $6 card. Comes from the same product. There's two of them in there, just like Mauling Kui. I think there's two Mauling Kui in there. But anyway, Boulder Drop is a $6 card. It's not even played. Like Bravos aren't even playing it anymore now that we have Thunk. The market kind of hasn't had time to figure that out and correct itself with Thunk, and I think Mauling Kui is in the same boat, but the opposite direction. People maybe haven't figured out that Mauling Kui is going to be good in the Crouching Tiger play, so people haven't started picking it up yet. Predatory Streak Red, the extended art Flesh and Blood promo card from an armory. This was several months back, probably like maybe even a year back. I have no idea. This was a while ago. This was like in the Dynasty era, I believe. But yeah, cheapest copy on the market is $1 for this one. The red one is obviously very good. Create 3 Crouching Tigers. It doesn't take much, synergies to make this kind of broken, right? Just like Art of War and what's the other card? Roar of the Tiger, right? There, it just makes Predatory Streak worth 6 points of value, plus threatening a Mask of Momentum trigger. Like, it doesn't take much to imagine a world where Predatory Streak is very good. With enough setup. Again, if we look at the market, there's only been 6 copies sold since the announcement. That's why you guys are on this channel, is to kind of get ahead of the curve. A lot of the, maybe the whales or the buyouts or the investors aren't really thinking about these cards that are actually essential to the strategy, right? So this is like the extended art red pulping of the hero. This is the extended art red pulping of the set. So yeah, don't just sit back and wait for all of the synergies to get announced, all of the Crouching Tiger stuff to get announced. It's $1. Worst case scenario, you have a playset of a very rare shiny card that's at least for a fun deck, right? Even if the new Ira doesn't play it, the strategy will still exist. It's still a very fun deck, and you're out $3. Like, what's the big deal, Tiger Swipe, I'll say all the same stuff about Tiger Swipe that I just said about Predatory Streak. You are not playing a Crouching Tiger game plan without Tiger Swipe. Like, the card is just actually broken. This is the whole reason to play the Crouching Tiger game plan. This is like the combo card. This is like the Bonds of Ancestry of Crouching Tigers, right? And for 73 cents, again, $2.50 roughly gets you a play set of this. Look, this guy has 16 of them up here for $1. You just add all 16 to cart. You're out, $18 if it doesn't hit. If it does hit, you know, this is like a $10 card, something like that. So a lot of room to go up on this. And by the way, if you're looking at any of this stuff and you're thinking about making a purchase, please do it using my TCG link, my TCG player affiliate link in the description below. Helps the channel out a lot. I would very much appreciate it. I'm putting you guys onto some free game here. Just go ahead, do me a solid, click that link. And then, yeah, even if we look here, there has been maybe like 10 copies, 20 copies sold of it. Still at 75 cents. Still a ton of them on the market. Yeah, we're definitely early on Tiger Swipe, that's for sure. Same with Roar of the Tiger. Again, all the same stuff I'm going to say about Tiger Swipe and Predatory Streak. I'm going to say all the same stuff about Roar of the Tiger. 74 cents, essential card in the Crouching Tiger strategy. This is like the payoff card, right? You know, you set up a Roar of the Tiger, Predatory Streak combo. It's just like kind of very natural stuff here. Item of the Dream State, talked about this card like a month ago. It was like way too cheap, right? It was $5. And I'm like, why is the legendary $5? It's finally starting to creep up. And the reason for the creep up is if you look at the promo art here, this lady in the water here is theorized to be the Illusionist, the blue Illusionist. Her art is featured on a lot of cards. She has a name. I think it's like Amiri or something like that. I actually don't know a lot about the lore behind Amiri. If you are interested in the lore behind Amiri, if you're wondering why people are thinking that this is Amiri in the art, Fabulous Friends actually did a pretty great video kind of going over all of the known lore of Amiri, all of the art of Amiri, and kind of breaking down everything about her and why he thinks she's coming in a future set or whatever. That was like before this even got spoiled, but yeah, if you look at that video and then you look at this art, it all makes a ton of sense. So that's why people are buying out the Ward stuff, the Diadem of the Dream State, and the Celestial Kimono. It's because, yeah, all of the art on this is very similar to the art on that Amiri character. I think her name's Amiri. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure. So yeah, Diadem of the Dream State, cheapest rainbow foil on the market is $8. The cold foil is at $45 now, and then the rainbow foil is at $7. A ton of these have sold, and again, that's because people, I mean, it's kind of obvious that that's Amiri, right? So people are like heavily speculating into this stuff. The cold foil yesterday was $33, and the rainbow foil was $5, so this stuff's moving pretty quick. Celestial Kimono, same thing. Cheapest cold foil, like for the Marvel, is $50, whereas, you know, you could see tons of them sold today. Not tons, probably like, I don't know, like 10 or 15 of them, but that's kind of a lot for like one of these more rare Marvel cards. That's like not like you don't need, it's not a game piece, right? You don't need the Marvel to play. You could just play the 25-cent regular version of the card. But yeah, cheapest copy of the Marvel is $50. It's actually a beautiful card. Like even if she doesn't wind up playing this, it would look pretty sick in the collection. I think a card that not a lot of people are looking at right now, seems like it would obviously be good in a blue Illusionist that cares about Ward, would be Hazebending, specifically the cold foil Hazebending. Cheapest copy on the market is $19, and if we look, only one has sold today. So yeah, definitely super early on this card as well. I mean, if it's a blue Illusionist that cares about Ward, like come on, let's put our brains together here. Obviously, Hazebending is going to be played in that kind of deck, right? Blazin' Yoroi, here's another one that, you know, if it's a ninja set, right, say we get an adult Benji and an adult Ira, and then, you know, it's just like these ninja mirror matches all day because we have like Benji, Ira, Katsu, and Fi all in the CC meta, then maybe there's a world where Blazin' Yoroi is actually like a good card because there's so many mirrors, you could just always side it in. None have sold today. People are, this isn't even like on people's minds in the slightest. So the cheapest copy is still what it was yesterday at $38 for the Marvel Blazin' Yoroi. If you don't feel like picking up the Marvel, I totally understand, but I would recommend picking up like the non-Marvel, and you can get those for like 50 cents or something like that. Spectral Shield, the cold foil. Again, if it's an Illusionist that cares about Ward, Spectral Shield of course has Ward 1. So here we go. I had to fact check myself. I was like, they do have Ward, right? Yeah. So if Spectral Shield has Ward 1, a character that cares about Ward, this is the new printing of the card that came in Dynasty. Obviously, this applies to all Spectral Shields that are made. They're all going to have Ward 1, even though these older copies of the card don't necessarily have the keyword Ward. But yeah, obviously, a hero that cares about Ward will probably, an Illusionist that cares about Ward will be making Spectral Shields, so it's safe to assume that a cold foil Spectral Shield will be a good pickup, right? A good little bit of a spec, a little bit of investment there. Also, even if she doesn't wind up playing it, new Prism, right? She still has like 900 LL points to go. She's going to be sticking around for quite a while. So, you know, having a Spectral shield for that hero, and then for the original Prism in the Living Legend format, and then for both Prisms and Blitz format, like Cold Foil Spectral shield is just good in so many angles. I think it's a fantastic pickup. Moving on, Test of Strength. I wish someone had warned us that this was going to be a $100 promo. That's right. I did warn everyone this is going to be a $100 promo. You guys said I was crazy in the comments down below. Not all, you guys, not all, but it is kind of nice to be able to rub it in every now and then when we get it right. Cheapest copy on the market is $90. Obviously, just because the card is still so fresh, so new, and Victor hasn't had like his breakout performance yet. But the nanosecond he does, this card immediately doubles in price. Like if he wins a Pro Tour, immediately doubles in price. This card, side note, tangent, this card never gets there for me. This card might as well just say block 4, give your opponent a gold. I kind of hate it at the moment, but if you're running hot on a particular day, I guess it could be good. I've never made a gold off it, so I wouldn't know. Moving on, Vestige of Soul. We're getting not into the specs anymore, into a little bit more boring market stuff, a little bit of the normal movement of the market. Vestige of Soul, because Prism won that battle hardened, we got to check in on where the price is. Cheapest rainbow foil is at $47, whereas the cheapest cold foil is at $73, which is absolutely insane. It was at like $40 a week or two ago. So to see it nearly double in price in a week, kind of crazy stuff. Ancestral Empowerment. This is also just like if you like sit down and think like what is just the generically good ninja cards, right? What's the safest ninja cards to spec into, whether or not the new ninjas go with the Crouching Tiger strategies or whatever. What's going to be good in all ninjas? And the first card that comes to my mind is Ancestral Empowerment. I could see this taking a similar price line to something like a Blood Rush Bellow, right? Blood Rush Bellow cheapest copy is like $8 or $9, and then the cheapest rainbow foils are like $20, I think. So if we look at this one, cheapest copy is $3, and the cheapest rainbow foil is like $11. So I do think this has some room to go up. Iron Song Pride, people are trying to side this in Kasai as a means to try and combat Dromai. I don't think it's a winnable matchup. I don't think it's worth it, but people are trying, and Iron Song Pride has like doubled in price because of it. Cheapest copy, as you can see here, used to be like $17 a month or two ago. Now it's up to $40. This is for the extended art Iron Song Pride, obviously, but yeah, I think as people realize that this is not a winnable matchup, I think it's going to come back down a little bit here. Glittering Thorns Red, also from around the table. This is another one that's kind of like Ancestral Empowerment, where it's like just generically a great ninja card, right? 1 for 5 with Go Again. It's got that 4 breakpoint, threatens the mass trigger, right? You go Kadachi, Gadachi, Glittering Thorns. It's like one of the best 2-card combos in the game. Yeah, one of the best ninja cards. Pretty safe to assume that the new ninjas are going to be wanting to play it as well. $10 for the cheapest copy on the market here. Just to like kind of like layer 7 this stuff here, but this round's on me. If we're imagining everyone's going to be building ninjas, then we're going to be needing a way to counter those people building the ninjas, and what better card to do that than this round's on me. Cheapest copy on the market is like $10 right now. Also to note, even like ninjas aside, Kasai actually really likes this card. Being able to draw that card and then have your sword attacks cost 1 less is very nice. And then, you know, also the added bonus of X that target you have -1. Yeah, cheapest non-foil is $10, whereas the cheapest rainbow foil on the market is $13. So yeah, I think it's a fantastic pickup. I think if you're going to get it, you might as well get the rainbow though. Everfest Majestic, we talk about this every day, every week on the channel. Everfest Majestics, as soon as they're good, they're just going to go to the moon. So yeah, don't skip out on this rounds on me. I think it's kind of like, it's generic, right? Everyone should have a playset of this card. Bet Big is the last card I want to talk about today. So what big stores and what big like case buyers and stuff, what big case crackers do is, you know, they'll crack like 20, 50, 100 cases or however much they're going to crack. And they need to recoup the money from cracking that immediately, right? So they just sell everything, right? They're not thinking like these big stores that are cracking hundreds of cases aren't thinking like, well, you know, Betsy could be good one day, so let's hold on to all of our bet bigs, right? They're not like trying to do this. They're trying to make their money from cracking the cases, and that entails selling everything pulled, right? So this happens every time a set initially drops, is like these Majestics that are kind of looked over at first, like bet big. You know, if chicken, what are you doing? These cards are kind of looked over at first, like bet big. You know, it's not going to be good right now, but obviously Betsy's going to be a meta contender one day, and when she is, she's obviously going to play bet big. Just read the card one time; it's actually broken. You know, for $1 for a necessary class Majestic, right? This is at worst going to be like shakedown level prices. And then, yeah, Shakedown's at like, what, $10? And Uzuri's a C tier hero, right? Imagine a world where Betsy's like the hero. You know what I mean? Or like at least an A tier hero. Not even S tier, but at least an A tier. Obviously, Bet Big is going to be a 3 of in all those decks. It's going to be worth a lot more than $1. So yeah, again, if you don't have a playset of this, $3. Don't sleep too much on it. Use my TCG link in the description below to get all these cards. And if you're looking at this and all this stuff got bought out from the time I've uploaded this video to the time you're watching it, then why are you not a channel member? Channel members get access to all of the Market Watch content early. You can also do that in a link in the description below. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Later, gamers.